Whoa, what happened to my head? Okay. That's weird. It like cuts off your head when you get too distracted. Well, that's annoying now. Hold on, I gotta shift. Good evening, everybody. You can see I'm in my mansion again. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I was looking something up um, that I'm trying to figure out. Hmm. Interesting. Hmm. Okay. How is everybody tonight? So, okay, I can't take this anymore. We're blurring that out because I can't. Hold on a second. My head is cutting off and it's just driving me crazy. All right. Am I frozen now? Am I free? Oh, hold on. What? Okay, am I frozen for anybody else? Okay, can y'all hear me? Is that better? If not, I'm going to have to go out and come back, which I don't really know how to do, so. Okay. All right, better. Hold on, I got to turn me back on now. You know what? We're not going to turn me back on because I'm afraid of what it'll do. So, we are going to talk about Kiely Rodni tonight. Rodni, I don't know how to say it, y'all, and I know it's like a big thing, but I just don't know how to say it because I've heard it different ways. I do want to move on to, I mean, we'll continue to circle back to her. Hey, Jeffrey. Hey, Cotton Candy, Sally. If I missed anybody, I'm really sorry with this technical difficulties. Um, I do want to circle back anytime there's updates. But hey, Annika, Rodney. Okay, that's what I thought, Pamela. But there are some things. So first off, I want to say a couple things. I was very, very before you come at me, let me finish the story. My perspective has changed. And Kathy Joe, that was very funny, by the way. I just caught up to that joke, and I'm really laughing hard inside because I can't laugh right now, or everybody would know. I was really kind of, because this was my first experience with AWP. I had never seen them before, and this really had it left a bad taste in my mouth, right? Because I was like, well, why would they, they're inflicting pain on the family. Please don't yell at me at, and I was like, kind of perturbed at them and feeling like, couldn't you have thought of the family when it came to this stuff? And I was pretty like adamant in some of the things that I felt about it. However, talking it over in Discord with some of the chat, and I started to kind of look at it from a different perspective. So here's the thing is that I hadn't seen the video today of Adventures with Purpose until just like an hour ago. And I will say that they handled it with a lot of tact, making sure that no one was, notified that they had potentially seen anything until they actually were, certain. Clearly, on Nick's face, there was complete devastation. And also, one thing that somebody tried to remind me is that they are amazing, but this was a little bit of a learning curve for them as well. A lot of the cases that they have specialized in so far, Hey Cool Gamer, and worked with have been cold cases. This was probably in their career, I would say probably one of the bigger cases that they've worked, and so fresh. Also, a child with national media attention. And we've only seen what we've seen, right? We've seen what the media showed us and all that stuff. So um, that allowed me to have kind of a different perspective with them, to say, look, if this, did it again, would they change a few things? They might have changed a few things. I do know that, I can't remember who it was, but they told me that they're actually not going to do any more interviews, I think it was, because things are getting spun, and something along those lines. And so I definitely had a lot more respect for them coming out on the other side and saying, okay, I think I prematurely judged them. I tend to get very, 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 very passionate about victims' families, and maybe a little bit overkill. But when I saw, mom is hurting, my immediate reaction is to be like, well, she's hurting because of them. Well, that's not really the case. She's hurting in general. Okay. I still don't think maybe that law enforcement is being completely honest with her about certain things about, AWP and the good role they had in it. And, she's grieving. So we can't hold, I don't think, that part. There was some people leaving some very nasty messages. I don't see it, but didn't see it because I haven't looked, but I know that on her Facebook page, um, which is just absolutely unacceptable. Um, I think that's what I think, Trisha. That's what I think, right? So who is it easier to be angry at? Somebody you don't know, or somebody that's police that's supposed to have your back within your community? And I'm not saying that it's right that, but right now for her, all her feelings are okay, in my opinion. Um, and I think that AWP, based on what I've seen, will be very gracious about that. And I think are being very gracious. I don't know what part of the video they removed, but I do know that it says that they removed it at request of the family. So, I mean, obviously they're sensitive to that. So my opinion of, of them definitely changed after watching the video and trying to step back and see their perspective. And to be quite honest, I don't know. Someone said they were talking about, and I don't know if this is true, I'm just saying this is what I heard. They were talking about that they might not even take a case on like this again. I mean, it's not easy. So, Punkette got robbed by a Napoleon Dynamite. I'm not even kidding you right now. We'll have to go over that at some point. But a Napoleon Dynamite lookalike. But so I get really passionate about victims, right? So when I know mom puts that out, my first response is just to get mad. And I do. So I enjoy, hey, Jenna from Texas, SF Investigates. I enjoy the parts that he's backed up with video. Anybody who comes at me with facts that can back it up with video, I will believe them. Is everything he's saying true? I don't know. But what I do know is the stuff that he is showing that is backed up by footage. Well, I believe that part. So I don't think in this situation anybody is 100% correct. Like, how do you know how you're going to maneuver through this type of situation? You really don't. And then you've got the media and you got YouTubers. And I don't think that AWP was that familiar with the craziness of the true crime community. And hey, Nadie, and combo with mom and family. If Jetta, they had one. If that's the case, I would think that was amazing. I think it was probably a little alarming for them, for AWP to be like, oh my goodness, what just happened? Like, like everything got so spun. It's how I feel. So, so my apologies. Oh, okay, Jetta. That's what they took off. Okay, thank you. My apologies for Trisha. It's in my community page, but I'll post it again. Jumping the gun on them. But, you know, I think they have some really valid, I think they probably learned some things, and the bottom line is she's found, I guess. So I'm going to drop the link if anyone wants to come up. The only thing that we don't do on this channel is please don't come up here and tell me one of two things. Please don't come up and bash her parents, because until we can know what, you know, like walk a mile in their shoes, as lame as that sounds, please don't come up bashing them, bashing mom or anything like that. And please don't come up and tell, well, you know what, if I said hey Jen, every opinion is welcome. But if you come up and tell me that, I just want to make sure it's okay. Hold on, Trish, I'm making sure it's you. Okay, gotcha. What is with this lagging tonight?
Hang on.
So, yeah, you're good. If you come up and tell me that it didn't exist and it wasn't real, you got to give me a really good reason to buy into that.
No.
No, not you. I'm just saying in general.
Okay.
No. I know you wouldn't say that. I'm just saying in general, because that to me is, what is happening to my, like, comments just disappeared and everything. There we go. Wow, I don't know what this lag is. My kids must be playing a video game. So a couple interesting things I found, and then I'm going to get Trisha's perspective tonight when I was looking. So I finally watched the Adventures with Purpose. Tony, you know what? You've come in here with a lot of things. You are actually, I can't get it to show. Sorry, Tony. I wanted to pin your comment. I believe you might be right. Like, I do believe, yeah, Sally, that there was some definite police cover-up going on, and I believe they're still telling mom some things. A couple of interesting things that I found is I did get a close-up view of the car, like these shots of the car. I saw the Truly can. If you all did everyone watch my video about the automatic vehicle?
Yes.
Okay, so I had to go test it out because no one could tell me. I had a mechanic that was like, yes, the wheels would move if it was, you know, blah, blah, blah. So you saw my video. I did determine, and as well as a friend went out, the vehicle will move, the wheels will move if it's in drive or a gear other than neutral if it's an automatic. I don't know how, but it was proven. So I don't necessarily know that her vehicle was in neutral. The other thing, though, that's a little bit weird is, you know, the hatch thing is still questionable, but within the last half hour, I went ahead and looked at the legroom because, like, if we're going to determine by facts, let's do facts, right? Because Kylie's grandpa said facts only. So we can, without a doubt, see how far back the seat is in the front seat.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks to me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Trisha, that it's all the way back. Like, I don't think you could go back further than it was.
How tall was she? Because it looks pretty far back. Do we know how tall?
So I figured that out. I did all the math. Okay, so Kiely was 5'7". The legroom, which I would imagine would just be from the edge of the seat to like the pedal or just a little bit beyond, is 3'5". So then I looked up what is the average leg span on a 5'7" woman while sitting. The average leg span on a 5'7" woman turned out to be 2 feet 8 inches. So I don't know how, if that's all correct. I mean, give or take, right? These are estimations based on average women. How she even touched the pedals.
Exactly.
So that part, I will say, is is questionable. She would have had to likely been, I mean, just been touching it with her tippy toes, I said, or like, I mean, really stretch outside the box. Go out in your car right now and measure if your seat was all the way back. But I'm going to do that tomorrow because I'm 5'6", and so give or take. That's how I work, Sally. That's how my brain works. Like, because there's so much going on right now in this crazy YouTube land. And so I wanted to make sure I have it correct. And we know, like, based on the, Honda 2013 CRV, that's not going to lie. The specs are the specs. So the woman, I looked that up, was just the average height. So I just don't know how she would have touched the steering wheel or the gas pedal enough to drive the distance that she did and then to go in the water. I mean, because the actual where she went in was pretty steep. I didn't realize how steep that hill is, but it's that drive that we saw from where she was parked to the water. I don't know how she could have made that. I don't know how she could have that far away.
Well, see, I have a question about, okay, so there were, like, she didn't like supposedly brake, right? She didn't try to stop herself from
Based on what
going
I
into
saw,
the
no, I don't
water.
think she braked.
Right.
She
So
braked.
there were just marks of it going into the water. There were no, of the anywhere putting on the brakes, right? There's nowhere where it shows that anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think she did. That was one of the things that kind of was in, like my investigation where, like, with the Honda not, like being able to roll the wheels. It said, like, especially if somebody doesn't brake, you can do it. It's, it'll roll then because you're in gear. The other thing is we have to think about what the water did to the what's it called? The transmission and stuff that whole time. That would have completely made it so, I mean, it would have shot the transmission because I looked that up too. And because water is so bad for a transmission. And so that would have completely made it so they could, like, go back and forth. Jetta, that's a very good point. That's a very good point. Obviously, she was wanting space for some reason. I thought probably if they were in charging their car. We've all seen the underwater footage, correct? The still shots?
Yes.
Okay. So I was trying to figure out where everything was. I mean, so I would imagine the Truly can probably came from the back seat.
That's what I would imagine.
Nay, is it a little bit uncomfortable? Like, do you have to stretch to reach the pedals? Then you have to drive a tiny car, punkette. I still think there's space issues when it comes to, I mean, gosh. I know that the hatch, like, if it's flipped upside down, I get it, but it's just a far way to go. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
About,
Like, are you still thinking foul play, or now I'm
oh,
50-50?
I've 100% from the beginning always thought foul play, only because, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So with me being a tarot reader,
Mm-hmm.
I like to incorporate, tarot cards into sometimes true crime. So she disappeared on this, what is the 5th or the 6th, right? Correct.
Yes.
And
In between the 5th and the 6th, yeah.
okay, so almost a week later, I did a reading and I have a photo of the actual spread that I did. And from the reading that I gathered, like, there was two people involved. Two
Okay.
people, and it from just the reading I got, it was a man and a woman. And so I automatically got that it was foul play from the beginning. Even before they even knew anything, I got foul play from the very beginning.
Okay.
So and plus, after seeing everything that AWP did, because AWP, I used to live in Missouri. I lived in Warrenton, Missouri. And if you guys go look at AWP, they came to Warrenton, Missouri and did a case where they were searching for Nathan Ashby, who was a missing guy, but he was in his 20s in
Okay.
our town, and they came and they found him. So after I heard AWP was on it, like I knew like stuff was going to happen, stuff was going to be found. And then when they released that additional members only video, and I watched that, uh-oh, where'd you go? And when they
What the heck did I just do? Why am I on like a special snap? What is going on?
Okay,
Oh
there
my
you are.
gosh. Hold on. I'm removing my.
But what I was saying is with AWP, because I've had experience with them before, that I just knew that once they got here and they immediately found her, I knew stuff was gonna come out.
Mhm.
Because whenever they said that, even though the police said that they searched that specific area, they said
Yeah.
that it's not really searched until they searched it, which is true, right? Because AWP has that special equipment. So no area is really searched until AWP searches it. I just found it odd though, because
I don't think they even searched that area. I got to be honest. I don't think they even. I think they said they did. And here's why I liked SF Investigates is because they kept saying they were showing drone footage. They were
Mhm.
showing um whole like on the boots on the ground footage, and they were calling out her friends, and he was calling out friends and law enforcement saying, we're hearing you're searching and stuff like that. No one's here. Kiely deserves better. So I believe, and then you know what their answer was? We were on the other side. Well, why would you be on the other side when, like, that doesn't make any sense? So I'm just kind of like, the videos don't lie.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, I'm also thinking because like if there's like an echo. Okay, I'm also thinking okay because you know how after they found the car that they put a red buoy there, right?
Yeah.
Well, even from aerial footage, you can look in the water before they even pulled it up and tell that's a silver vehicle in there just from
Yeah.
the aerial distance. So there's
Yeah.
no way that they searched it and cleared it, or it was put there after the search.
Yeah. Because the day after she was found, like 2 days later, that guy, SF Investigates, put drone footage that he had loaded not before she was found, but after, like, because it was all happened so quick, that he
Hmm.
had took the day before, and you can see it from, I mean, people were, tubers were out there and stuff. There's no way if they thought for any way, shape, or form, or they had thoroughly checked it out, they would have let a tubers out there. Like, they didn't see one kid exactly as Hake. There was no kids, no law enforcement, nothing. I don't care if they were on the other side, nothing. That's soon as they stopped doing the press conference and stuff, they all pulled out of there. Um, and I don't think that they thoroughly searched it. And I mean, AWP, I get they have the best equipment, but we're talking a sonar. It's not like it had to read down 52 feet.
Oh yeah. Oh
It
yeah.
was what, 6, 7 feet till the top of the car. I mean, it was 14 foot of water, but to the bottom, not to the top of her
It
car.
was about 10 feet till the magnet reached the car. So yeah, 14 feet.
Dear
So that's
Lord,
not very deep.
you jump into a pool and can touch the bottom, like from a diving board of the pool sometimes with your feet. That's 8, 10 foot. Like, it doesn't. I just don't think that they thoroughly searched it. I sometimes wonder if they thought she ran away or something and they treated it like another runaway case or what. I don't know what the reasons are.
Well, I agree with you on that because remember how they were thinking it was an abduction in
Uh-huh.
the beginning? So I agree with you on that.
Part of me thought, okay, I don't necessarily know that it's based on the hill that's out there that I saw when it was how steep it was. It is not out of the realm of possibility that somebody did something, put it in drive, and let her go. Because I think she would have made it to the water.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, I would like to see the actual. I would like to see the cause of death in the autopsy for sure.
I know I'm like really dying for the autopsy, but I don't know if it's ever going to be released anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, like, I just want to know if she had water in her lungs. That's it. If it, once we know that, we will 1000% know that it's foul play or not.
Yeah, yeah, and maybe even if there was water in lungs and she passed that way, it doesn't mean that some crappy things didn't happen. But I would think, okay, it was an accident or something along those lines because she was in it. Um, but as far as the other thing I want, the as far as the tow truck driver, I am not putting much stock to that. Um, I need him to come forward with some actual evidence, like pictures or something, because I know he said Boca, and I get that. But if you remember correctly, that big map that first came out that went viral, like within 3 days of her missing, that Boca area was the area that said, like, stay out of. And that was also the area that was announced where that black tank top was found. So, I mean, it wasn't like it was already an area that a lot was going on. And I'm not saying the boyfriend and Sammy didn't have something to do with it. I need him to be a little more, I need actual facts
Right, right, because
with
he
him.
is, I mean, he is ultimately allegedly like a key witness if what
Yeah.
he said went down actually went down.
Yeah.
So they're most likely gonna get the dispatch information regardless, and then we're probably not gonna see it for a while.
And wasn't he like, wasn't AWP basically coming out of a Best Buy when he like,
Yeah, he approached them coming out of a Best Buy.
so that's why it ended up with Jalissa's case. They ended up like the family had to get on and be like, please don't come looking for like there were people out, obviously they know they're coming. So it's just really hard to, like, I agree that they interviewed him for good reason. I just think it's just weird. It's like all that time you could have gone to the media, now you do.
Agreed, agreed.
But then look at the Gabby case. After all that money and all those hours, they found nothing right at the spot. That's true, S. Hockett. Yeah, that's true, S. Hockett. um Yeah, I do think it was covered. So that's my other 50% nay, is that it was, I don't know if she was overdosed and they flipped out, or I would like to know more about these fight. I don't know if she was one of the ones fighting and there was I don't know.
Well, what's funny is if you remember watching AWP's video that they put out,
Uh-huh.
members only first, um, him reading out something that was sent to him, and he was reading out something that said that there had been a fight between her, and they bleeped out the name and covered his lips, but I could still see who
Mm.
allegedly I think that he was saying. Do you remember that?
I do, but I can't remember who. Like, I vaguely remember. I was watching it really quick in the last hour, so.
Yeah, it was said that she had gotten to an argument between her, there was not between her, and they bleeped it out, but I allegedly, I'm gonna say allegedly,
Yeah,
I believe it's Sammy is the name
that
that
I
he
could
was
believe.
saying. Yes. And that's that to me right there. And then going back to the beginning, how Sammy and Jagger kept saying, if you guys have any information and you don't want to go to the police, you can give it to us.
Right.
I think they were seeing who had anything and then just filtering through tips,
Yep. Oh,
in
I
my honest
agree,
opinion.
Annie. I agree. I'm sure they've looked into tow truck dude. Jared said that was just a clip of the interview. They asked his story 3 different times and nothing changed. Yeah, and I believe that, as Hackett. I think they were not in the wrong. I think they put it out there because, well, they interviewed him. Like, somebody comes up to you saying that stuff, you interview him because that's what you do. Um, I just want him to be. I would think that there's got to be some sort of evidence that this really happened that he has.
Agreed. And plus, the roadside assistance guy, he's going to be like millions of people are going to be
Hmm.
watching his interview on AWP's channel. So like,
True.
why would you put yourself through all that scrutiny?
Wow, S. Hackett. The other point too is that somebody did say you have to keep in mind that just because there was a San Francisco hat doesn't mean that it was. I mean, Glenn's from that area. Isn't that the close? I mean, San Francisco would be the closest baseball team, I think. Like, it wasn't. I don't know. I mean, if there was a positive ID on the mail and it was whatever his name is, Jagger, or whatever, then, that changes things for sure.
Yeah, Jared was on Zav Girl last night, and he's was it last night or yeah, I think it was last night or something, or early this morning today,
Hmm.
and he was saying that there was a positive ID for that, a
But
positive mail,
I mean, but the thing is, so
but
are
it's
they
not guaranteed anything, right? It's not guaranteed
right?
everything. It's just a positive,
Are
match
they
for it.
thinking that she passed after that? Because, I mean, obviously, AWP would never say that she didn't, like that was her in the car, right? We can agree on that.
Right,
Um,
right.
I'm just, I don't know. The other thing he did say though is, okay, Annika, is he said the girl was wearing the gray sweatshirt. Okay, we know that at the party she was seen with the other sweatshirt. Do we know why somebody, like, was she cold that she borrowed borrowed another set sweatshirt? Like, what's the deal with the sweatshirt?
Well, it seems like there's a lot of confusion with what sweatshirt she had on to the very begin with anyway, right? Because
Okay,
first it was that dark one that had the writing on it from the lyrics of someone's
right,
song. And then we heard it was that white and pink one. And now
right.
we're hearing from the roadside assistance guy that she was in a gray sweatshirt. So it seems like nobody really can pin down or don't want to pin down on exactly what she was wearing that night.
Yeah, yeah. Hey Salem, hey crazy mama. Yes, so that is definitely that there are some definite weird things, like I did hear AWP say there was shoes. Oh, Sally, hold on a second. Let me drop the link. Um, I don't know how people do call-ins. That would be phenomenal to do. So I don't know if she had I can't remember if she had sandals on, or if they would have floated off of her, as horrible as that sounds, or what, or if she just had extra shoes in there. But I mean, if she had extra shoes and extra, like, I guess I don't know. I'm a little like, I don't know why the resistance on putting out her cause of death, I guess, but there's a chance that maybe they're just a super private family and they want to keep this in. But I do think maybe that information would stop some of the chaos. Maybe it wouldn't, though. Hey, Sally.
Hi,
Hi.
Sally.
Hello. Um, so I'm wondering if it's possible that Jared said when he went on that other channel when they were monitoring all the channels to see who was going to try and play it live. He got on that other channel and he had, oh my God, I'm driving and I just like got all nervous and got a brain fart. What was I just gonna say? Oh my gosh, are you serious right now? This
You
is
were
never.
gonna you were gonna talk about the shirt, right?
Yeah, I was, but I'm trying to lead up to it. Oh. Okay, so he had commented that this witness that he says was like credible or whatever. He said that they had verified or something that the guy had reached out to law enforcement, like I thought he said like 3 times or something, or maybe it was like 3 different people were dealing with tips or something weird. I don't know, he said there were so many people dealing with tips that it was hard to keep track of them all, and that they did think he did contact law enforcement, but for whatever reason they thought things had crossed, and something or other. Sorry, I'm pulling up to my appointment. My brain will work as soon as I stop. Um,
You're good.
so anyways, what I'm thinking is that either, yeah, he's lying and, trying to maybe set someone up or just wants the attention, or he's, you know, trying,
Right.
maybe he was the guy and he's the one involved and he's trying to give reason for why his fingerprints would be on the car,
True.
or that say, so they came up with the sweatshirt. That was the first sweatshirt that they were like looking for her in, the dark gray one or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden it changed to that pink one. So maybe law enforcement did get that tip and they got it from the tow truck driver and checked out the video, and they looked at it and was like, wait, no, that wasn't the last thing she was in, because that's not even Kiely on the camera.
Hmm.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you do have a point.
Because in the interview or whatever that Nick says on the, or not Nick, Jared says on the other channel, he basically lays it out and says, we have a whole nother theory that would just completely blow your mind. And he says, just think about the two people that are going around the vehicle, and the way he portrays that, I guess, is almost as if these two people were going around the vehicle trying to keep the tow truck driver from like getting too close, or from like seeing something, like
Mm-hmm.
as if, you know, possibly she was in the back. Maybe I don't think that was Kiely, that, you know, that with the car, because he said that they were acting all out of sorts, like they had a really long night or they were hungover.
Oh, gotcha.
And so, I mean, how would you be if you're like stalled and you're on the side of the road and you're like, oh my God, there's a dead body in the back of my car. And what if a cop just stops?
Oh,
Like,
I see what you're saying. I was
you
like, what do
know,
you mean? Yeah, I get
yeah.
you.
And so they just wanted to get out of there and go wherever they wanted to go, you know, just try and figure out what they were going to do, because they probably, well, were still drunk. I mean, they're teenagers. They probably were up all night and were trying to contend with this whole situation they got themselves in,
Yep.
you
Hey,
know?
Kate. Hey, FMX.
So
I
that's,
see what you're saying now. I see where you're going with that.
yeah, so that's my thought on it.
Yeah. Does anyone know why Megs oh my gosh, I can't even talk. Lended her a sweatshirt when she already had one? Unless maybe she was just cold. It was 46 degrees. We have to remember that night. It gets cold up there at night.
Which sweatshirt are we talking about? The gray one?
Yeah, Megs apparently lent her the gray one.
See, and that's what I'm saying. Maybe she really hadn't ever lent her the gray one.
Yeah, I see where you're going. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
You see where she's going now?
Yep. They did say that there was a reason that so allegedly law enforcement didn't want it out, or didn't say they didn't want it out. They just didn't want it disclosed. There was a reason Megs left the party after 10 minutes, but they're not saying
Yeah.
why. So I don't know if she was fighting with Megs or what happened.
Yeah, I remember that too, that SF Investigates said all that.
Now, according to Sammy, it was because guys were approaching her, but that wouldn't be something to me that would be like, well, we need to be quiet about it, because like that, everyone said that pretty much, you know? So, yeah, I think it was too, a little bit, Kate. I don't know. There are definitely some questions that are just like, what in the world? That doesn't, I don't know. That doesn't add up.
Well, another question that I have personally is like, if someone was missing in the area, where they found the vehicle, why would they even have that area open to visitors?
Well, like I said, there was people tubing
Yeah,
feet away from where her car was.
because that was also the last place where her cell phone pinged.
And I will say that is why the drone footage from that guy, from that PI, which, do I agree with everything he does? No, but I believe footage. When you show me footage, I believe footage, was in that area, because they did know that the ping was somewhere near there in that area. So I mean, you're going to have, to tell me that their sonar is so bad that they can't pick up or see 10 feet. I don't. Now, I will say they did say that the water line, like the water level went down 3 feet or something like that in a couple weeks span, but still, I I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't know why that whole area wasn't closed off to the public to begin with. Like after she went missing, just close that area off because there's no way you can clear that
True.
area. Like there's no way you can possibly clear the area. Even as Placer County, however big or however small they don't have the equipment to just clear that, which is why AWP came in, right? Because of their equipment. So
Right.
they should have just immediately kept that whole Placer reservoir just blocked off to the public.
That's true. I mean, that is super weird and crazy mama. Okay, so they said they didn't clear the park because the more people looking, the more chances she's found. And I agree with your facial expressions right there, crazy mama, because can you imagine you're tubing, right? Someone flips you off a tube, you dive down just swimming or something and you spot the car. I mean, dear Lord.
How crazy is that? What happens if you were just snorkeling, right? And you
Oh
go
my
down there and
gosh.
you see that, right? Think about that.
Right. And we can't. That was Nevada County, Ellie, that didn't shut it down. Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But still, I mean, so my other question is I've been looking up this, trying to find an answer to this. Carson said okay, Metalhead. Um, I wanted to, so Nay did say that because she said she has a SUV, Honda, or a Nissan SUV. She likes it all the way back, but her husband has to bring it forward and he's 6'1". So, I mean, again, we're talking that doesn't make sense, the room that she had.
Right.
But, God, my brain is just like in one, out the other. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, I just needed to explain the windows because did
Yes.
she roll down the hill into the water? Like, is that what happened? Because the windows do confuse me because I looked it up and I looked at the bottom within the pictures that AWP showed, and it looks to be sand on the bottom. I mean,
Yes.
obviously there's a little bit of gravel and stuff, but I don't necessarily know if it would have been enough to break windows. And then I looked up, can water pressure do that? And it said no, according to answers or whatever, that it's it is super impossible to break a window underwater without a special tool. Obviously, we know because
Right. Right.
so I just don't know what would have broken the window in such a matter like that.
That is very questionable because when he went in there and he was doing the assessment and he said that was it the passenger side that was busted out,
Yeah,
like busted out, and then the rear driver's side window was halfway down. Now the only like I don't even see why that would be halfway down unless you're intentionally trying to make water come in faster than normal.
right.
And then
True.
why was the passenger side busted out, right? That's the main question. Why was that side completely busted out?
Yeah. And I mean, that's a good. He seemed pretty adamant when he came up, Nick. I mean, obviously, he was very distraught. It was his first time. I get it. Like, that's terrible. And he said, immediately, like, it looks suspicious. So we
Mhm.
also got to realize, too, we don't know exactly what he saw down there. Like, as far as when he found her, in the manner of which he found her, something might have just looked like really, really off to him. The window being busted out and not the mirror on that side is crazy because that shows no accident cause. Okay, crazy.
That's what I was thinking.
That's a good point, crazy mama. That's a good point. Hmm. Hey, Lynn. I'm not sure if I said hi to you. That's a really valid point. Okay, and for anybody that's watching, might not be commented. I want you to understand we are not. This is all like we're trying to uncover questions here. Some weird things. In the end of at the end of the day, I hope it was nothing but an accident. And you know what? It could very well be the simplest thing, but
Mhm.
these are questions that we're just asking, like, hey, talking through it. Did they say busted out or just all the way open? So they said busted out. It looked shattered to me.
Yeah, it was definitely busted out, and they said busted out for sure.
Now the back window, I still think that it was probably maybe, because we do know, according to one of them, we know that there was four too. I almost, Sally, you just popped, you just fell off. Um, I do remember hearing there was four girls or something like that in the car, if I remember correctly, not just her and Sammy. I don't know if that's true or not, but I do think that they were smoking marijuana or whatever at one
Yeah,
point, and
100%.
somebody rolled down the back window, think, like, whatever, let's do that. And so whoever was on the other side probably didn't roll down the back window, and so I think it could have either been done that way, or I also looked and it said, it would short out the automatic windows in a matter of, like water would, in a matter of just,
True,
less
true.
than a minute. So that could have caused it when they flipped, I don't know, but then you would think all the windows would be I don't know. I don't know. And if it was an accident, I would have thought the back end would have been, like there'd been more damage. So I
Mhm.
don't think that she rolled. I just don't know.
Well, if here's my thing, everything I'm saying is allegedly. So, and I
Yes.
always have to put that out there.
Yep.
So allegedly, here is what. Okay, so if they're going to say it's an accident, right? If it was an accident, there would have been skid marks from her trying to push the brakes, because there's no way she's literally going to just drive straight out into the water and not even look and think about, oh my god, where am I going, and not try and turn the wheel or skid or something, right? And
Yeah.
then if she would have to be in the driver's seat. Even if you're not buckled in the driver's seat, you allegedly, in my personal opinion, you would not float all the way back to that trunk hatch part of
It
your
would be
vehicle.
difficult. It would be
Yes,
difficult.
1,000%.
Jen, I'm gonna pull it up right now, and Jen, if you didn't hear, if Jen or Kate, if you didn't hear me, I've completely flipped my opinion on AWP in the last 24 hours. So I do love them now. Had come out and said accident in their opinion, but they opened up a whole can. Right, crazy mama. Well, and crazy mama, I think when they came out and they said legitimately, like, it is suspicious. I don't think they knew what kind of community they were entering.
Oh yeah, they didn't know. They
Like,
didn't
and
know.
that's part of why I believe they were saying they aren't going to do any more interviews and stuff, because they didn't intend to come in here and hurt the family. And, you know, they came in here to say what they thought, and all of a sudden, like, it spun. So, I mean, I don't blame them at all. I think they were just like, what one of us doesn't enter this community and go, what the frick did I just get?
Uh-huh. Well, and another thing, right, is AWP specializes in cold cases specifically.
Right.
So they would know the position of bodies, where they would be, even after long
True.
periods of time, if they were in the driver's seat going off of something. So the fact that even Nick was like, she's in the very back. He said he saw some shoes and she was in the very back. It's very highly unlikely that it would either be a suicide or an accident for her body to just float to the very back of the hatch.
Oh my goodness, they saw her shoes.
Yes, he saw her shoes.
Oh my gosh, I thought it was like shoes just floating. I didn't know they actually saw her
Yeah, he
shoes.
said he saw her shoes, but he had to go around to the other side, remember, and to get a better visual. And that's when he seen her in the very back.
Oh my gosh. Um, so as Hackett, I had heard that as well, that they were like, we are not doing another, that they were going to think twice, I think, about doing another case like this. So this is what Jen's talking about. If you guys can't see it, let me get it full screen here for a second. Um, I don't know what is with my leg tonight, but if you guys can't see, there is a Truly can right here. Um,
And it looks like a
which,
laptop charger.
so that white thing is driving me nuts. What is it?
It's a laptop charger.
Okay, see, that's weird to me. I maybe not. I guess why would you have your? Well, I don't know.
Because she graduated early, right? So she probably did a lot of work from her vehicle.
True, true. So did she have her laptop on? Is that why she put the seat all the way back? Was she looking on her computer for something? MacBook charger. She was said to have the laptop. Okay, Aaron. Thank you, Aaron, for filling me in on that. The Truly can. So we know, right? Sammy alleged that it came from Kiely's. Kiely brought it. They were drinking Truly. So somebody's gonna have to help me, okay? And you're all gonna laugh at me, all right? But you're gonna have to walk me through this. I do not know much about floating or water or anything like that. So if a Truly can was floating around, would it float forward, or would that be just how close her seat was to the back, like, and it just like floated up? Because I don't think she was drinking in the front. Like,
I don't think she was either.
it's a weird spot for a Truly can, I guess, but
Well, that's the thing is we don't know if it's an empty can or a full can, right?
right. So Jen, it has said she was Snapchat active. I don't have Snapchat, so I don't know, but people said you don't necessarily have to send a message to see if it's nay. That's a good point.
Exactly. Yep.
So a body floats, correct?
Yes.
Okay. What's significant of the perfume being mentioned? What perfume?
Yeah, what perfume?
So a body floats, but how does a body float all the way to the back hatch? Man, that's her
Like
car was
it's really questionable, right? Because you're really trying to think about it. You're just like, I can't wrap my head around how it could possibly get all the way from there if she was in the driver's seat all the
right.
way to the hatch.
Tattoos, that's true. I had heard that as well. And if she did have alcohol in her car, I mean, yeah. Duh, we've all been to a party. Where do you go? You go to where there's free alcohol. Pink bottle. Said he saw perfume. Okay. Huh. Well, now if that's true, if there's a bottle found here and he knew that color, that was not anything to the public, correct?
Yes, I was just thinking that.
So, I mean, that'll seal the deal for me. Nick saw perfume bottle in console. Yeah, there's like 8 inches of space from headrest to the top. That's what I mean, crazy mama. I mean, I could see her flipping, right? And that would be like,
Well, still, but like a leg or a hand or an arm or something would have got caught up somewhere.
yeah. Yeah, I knew that part, Jetta, so I could picture why she was at the tail end. I mean, everything had to work in such a way for her to fit through there, you know? Um, I mean, if the tow truck driver knew about the pink perfume bottle, and
That's a
that was
very
kind of,
specific piece of
I mean,
evidence.
yeah, that to me is like, well, okay, he's not lying because either he was at the party and he knew about it, or what he said happened. So if she was awake, my opinion is that if she was awake when she went in the water, she might have tried to get out the back. But again, I don't know, but I don't understand that type of grief either to understand why they just don't want to say like, boom, here it is.
Right.
Here's what we believed happened, or even that, just manner of death, water in the lungs. That's it. I don't see perfume in the pic, but that doesn't mean anything because
Exactly, crazy mama, because right, the what was it? The passenger side was already is busted, right? So that would be the easiest way to get out if you were in there. So obviously, in my mind, allegedly, she wasn't even conscious.
that's possible. Unless somebody said the water. So I watched a video from one of my kids, like YouTubers or something. I don't even know. It was some like not even a cartoon, but the guy drives in and the front window is open in a matter of like, oh, it was so quick because the front window, front driver's side window was open, and water. I've never seen water. I didn't know water could rush that fast, and it just like, and he crawled out the back. But yeah, it was. I don't know. And somebody said, well, the area she would want to get to would be the back hatch to get out of it. But I just don't know. There's so many. We have to remember too. She was drunk, allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about y'all, but I have a hard time climbing sober, much less with
No.
alcohol.
I'd be like, how do I get this dang thing open? Oh, wait, it's already open.
I just think that it would take a lot for her to be like, I don't know, to think through things.
Yeah, tattoos. I was thinking the same thing because AWP said that you literally have 20 to 30 seconds before it starts rushing in if there's already a window open. You literally have 20 to 30 seconds to do something, and that's it.
Gotcha, Jetta. Well, LFT, I think you're right. I think knowing that the FBI is still on the case and hasn't closed it tells me they're not finished with it, because typically it would say at least like case closed. Typically, I think that's what they do. But you're a ninja when you're drunk, tattoos, but you're not normal, tattoos. Just kidding. But I personally feel like it's not closed out, at least to the FBI, it's not.
Well, I'm gonna go see Glenn this month, the middle of this month. And while I'm down there, we are like 1000% going to go to Placer Reservoir
Please do. Yes, please get the video
because
footage
it's
and
like
stuff.
what, an hour away from he lives, so we're definitely gonna go there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Glenn also knows about every tow company
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
there. So, I mean, he can tell if the person's BSing it because he knows a lot of people from different tow companies.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And his county is Nevada County.
okay. As Hackett, I just didn't know if she would have tried to get the back hatch open, because somebody said that, like, the way the car probably would have pointed, she would have tried to get out there. But I mean, like I said, I don't know how I would have. A first attorney said people don't tie themselves up or gunshot or beat face after they die, place themselves in hidden places. True, Aaron. Maybe that's why AWP came out with this, so Ellie can't. Yeah, that's possible too, crazy mama.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I mean, we can't like just, I was very much like it's cut and dry accident, and I'm still probably like somewhere in there, but I go back every second. There's things I can't ignore.
See,
There's
and Glenn
things I
is
can't
with
ignore.
you. Glenn thinks it's an accident, right? But I differ and I disagree. I'm like, no. Well, I'm like, no, it's definitely foul play. So we disagree, but like
Yeah.
we're adults about it. We're like, oh, we'll just agree to disagree.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you did. I mean, I think Kate too goes back and forth. She's another one that was like,
But
I don't
it's like
know.
everybody can have a difference of opinion. Not everybody has to agree on
Yeah,
the
I
same thing.
trust Glenn as far as like knowing that, like, I trust his opinion on the like tow truck driver too. I
Yeah.
don't know. I highly doubt AWP would say stuff just to say it. This is an open case. Yeah, for sure, tattoos. And I think that they are still trying. So they also had to go right on to Jalissa's case, and I think they're dealing with some aftermath right now. They are. We have no idea what it's like to find a kid.
I think they are dealing with a lot of the aftermath of the Kiely Rodni case because I think the reason why they put out this video the way that they did is because they didn't want to receive backlash or have anything blamed on them, which is why they always do the video proof with their assessments.
Yep, true. Aaron, you're right. That's very true. Jetta, if you watch my short movie, I debunked the neutral claim, because that's been driving me crazy, because it's been such a source of arguments over the internet right now. And then when I did it, my friend, well, Les was like, well, now I gotta go see. And her husband's a mechanic, and so she was out there doing it, and she's like, Parker, I can't believe this. This is disturbing. It moved, and like all this stuff. And then her husband was like, you're going to ruin the transmission. Stop. So I can confirm two people have done rolled the car outside of neutral. Yeah, Aaron, that's why I just went out and was like, forget it. And because you got to remember, I didn't realize, I wasn't even thinking. We're thinking rolling with a car that's turned off, or a car that like has been put in park or whatever. Like, my car wouldn't come out when I put it in drive and I went to shut it off. The key doesn't come out of the ignition. like it stays, like it won't come out. And so like as soon as I did that, even though it was in drive, my wheels immediately started going backwards. So it's just it was yeah, when I was like in Discord, I was like, okay, y'all, I'm going outside. I can't take this anymore. So so tomorrow I told my daughter, so what she's gonna do is I'm gonna make her lay away from me like I'm gonna start doing some height thing. I watched ADP for a long time telling you all that. Yeah, as Hackett, I think that's why this is kind of alarming to them, is because they came on like to interview and stuff, and then all of a sudden it was like, what the heck just happened type of thing.
I think they're confused because they were
Yeah.
told that area had already been searched and they didn't need to search there. Is
Yeah.
what I think was really odd to them.
And I still after Grandpa put out that thing about thanking LE law enforcement and about not blaming them and stuff, you will not convince me that law enforcement has not fed them some lines.
Oh,
I just don't
yeah.
believe it. I 100%, when AWP said that law enforcement told them not to search that area, law enforcement immediately punched back with, that's not true. We never said that. I think their egos got bruised because
It made them
they
look bad.
completely, well, they were letting people um, tube over where her car was, essentially. That, and video was surfacing of them, no one being, no searchers and stuff like that. I think that we have no idea what, I just really feel that they might be, it's easy to run up and say, if you're there, law enforcement, and talk to mom and say, this is what, Aaron, I 100% believe he was. I 100% believe he was.
I haven't heard that. I haven't caught up like from today or anything.
Well, he has a son that goes to Sierra College, that would be probably in like his freshman or sophomore year, like have just finished one of them. And remember how many people from
Yes.
Sierra College were there? I firmly believe he was there.
Well, it's kind of hard to imagine that that whole thing went down in her car, went in the water, 300 what? It was 300 yards from the campsite. So what, about 1,000 yards from where the actual party was, that nobody heard her engine or seen her headlights? Out of
Mm-hmm.
everybody in that party, what, 2 to 300 people? There's no way. There's no way
Yeah.
nobody heard or saw anything.
Sally, are you serious? Did he really say that? S-Hawk, I mean, you could clearly see in both Dad and Grandpa the absolute shock when they said she wasn't in the driver's seat.
Yeah, because they were expecting to find her in the driver's seat, which is why they went down towards that side first.
Wow, Sally, that's really classy of the show. Wow. Like, I get it, he might have been trying to joke, but I don't think he was trying to joke as much as, wow, that's kind of terrible. 1/3 of a mile. Yeah, that's not classy. Um, yeah, I think it's just, there are things, I don't trust them, at least that county. I don't. I don't. I mean, most of the people, anybody that I've talked to from that is there, like, I don't know, a lot of people that are closer to the case believe it was foul play.
You could be right, S. Hockett, that you could also be very well right that it didn't happen that night. Because, like, we don't know it. They haven't confirmed anything on time of death or anything like that. So we don't even know.
That's true. Lynn, I saw that. That was nuts. It was so dark. Yeah. And Mayhem, we don't even know that maybe they're not on the same page as far as, maybe they like, maybe Dad thinks it is weird and maybe Mom doesn't, I don't know. But the reason I think Mom is so, like, I just feel
Pamela,
that
yes.
for her to be as upset as she is, like she was like, "You'll never be my hero" and stuff. It just made me feel like she's being fed something, in my opinion.
Now, with what Pamela said, it makes me question, right? Because even teenagers, especially 16, whatever, you're always going to take pictures and photos of a party that you're at, right? And a lot of the times, if you don't have it checked off of your Facebook or your Snapchat, it will automatically give you the location of where you're at. So it's hard to imagine that there's like what only a handful of pictures that they can connect to the party. That's really hard to imagine, honestly.
Yeah, and somebody was like, "Well, teenagers don't do that now. Adults capture everything on photo." And I was like, "Are you out of your mind? Like, teenagers do nothing but take selfies and photos. So there's not like one picture of her in a selfie. I don't buy it."
Yeah, I'm not buying it either.
Mayhem, I've heard both things. Okay, I've heard it was factual, it was her, and then I've heard it was debunked. But the way at AWP made it, it kind of sound like it was real. So solar flares from sun is true, Jetta. My baby missing, I'm not. No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. A lot of people thinking the car was placed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it was placed after Ellie too.
Are you sure? Tell me where it was debunked, because I would love for that. Hold on a second. I would love for it to be debunked, Mayhem. I'm Googling it real quick. Um,
That it was a fake Snapchat account of Kylie's mom.
oh. Aaron, that was a false Facebook post.
So did Sammy delete her Instagram account?
I have not, yeah, I think so. Yeah, Sammy was gone. She said apparently she was getting death threats, to the best of my knowledge. Her family left. I don't know if she's returned home. I think they lawyered up, and I don't think we'll hear from Sammy
I'm thinking the same thing.
again. Allegedly Meg's lawyered up real quick. So I don't
See,
know if
that's
that's
the
true.
thing, right? Is you think like if it was me, right? You have
Mhm.
zero to hide. Why would you lawyer up, right? I
Yeah.
think if you immediately lawyer up before anything's even happened or found, I think right there that's sus.
Yeah, all I gotta know is if so Pamela, I heard that what I don't know, I've heard so many things about it, but I do know I would find it hard to believe she went to college, right? But I do know that if I don't care if you're 18 or 25, if you're my kid and this happens, well, I'm yanking you away from cameras quicker than like I'll pull you by the hair away from cameras. Like it's
Quicker than
just
a snicker.
yeah. I hope she doesn't. I literally almost ran myself over by it. Oh, rebellious. Yeah, my experience. Well, good thing the camera's not. My husband just walked down his underwear, so I'm glad that's camera's not on.
30. What do you think I have on?
But yeah, Lynn, me too. So at the end of the day, if it is, she deleted it. So and like we've all, and I think the collective across the board, despite the fact that she's getting some really, really nasty comments on her Facebook page, which is absolutely foolish. I've seen people say nothing. Thank you, Mayhem. Have nothing but grace with saying look, she's she's going through a thousand different emotions right now. Well, Aaron, that's the reason that I think that she's being fed stuff. I think, Aaron, I think she's being told something from
LE, because that's
yes.
why AWP put out that video that shows where she was the first people that they
Yeah.
called.
Yep. I truly believe she's being told something. But I have hope, I really do. I think that when things calm down and not that she'll be over it obviously, and they can be a family and take a deep breath. I think things can be like cool. Like I think, but I do think she's being fed stuff. But like I said, I hope it was all a big accident. I do. But regardless, exactly, Pamela. I don't have an opinion on her either because, oh my goodness,
Yeah,
I would
I don't
have so
either.
many different emotions. I can't even fathom the emotions you go through when all of a sudden, like, you're thrown into this. You lose your daughter. It's national. She's dealing with two. They heard everything up church. Like, he's got 2.9 million subscribers, right? So that stuff got back to him, and that really, really hurt them. And as much as this true YouTube overwhelmed AWP, I'm sure it overwhelms,
Well, that and grief affects everybody differently. We all handle grief differently.
Yep. Exactly, Aaron. And yes, today would be Kylie's 17th birthday. I mean, y'all, they haven't even buried their daughter yet. And they just passed her first, the first birthday, not a lot. You don't just nothing, Aaron, I agree. You don't, well, Upchurch owes AWP a really big apology. So I hope he at least, look, I have no problem with him. I didn't even know who he was before this. I'm sorry I didn't, but didn't he say AWP was part of all this? Like that they were fake or something? So, that's what I think, Mayhem. That's what I think too. Hold on one second. I gotta see what S. Hockett said.
And with what Mayhem said, I completely agree because it's like I said, if you think about how many bodies they've recovered with the cold cases that they've had that have been strictly underwater, they've probably seen a lot of things, right? So
Yep.
you can only imagine like probably her facial expression when he found her. Like he's got to live with seeing that.
Aaron, yeah, he was. I watched parts of that, and the funny thing is, a lot of people were commenting on her live after that, saying because he was like very, almost a little bit humbled as AWP's talking, and they didn't say anything to him like that I saw. Like they could have been nasty and be like, "Dude, don't even talk to me after what you just said." And somebody said, "So when is he going to offer that apology?" Like it's just kind of crazy because, I don't know. I just think that there was something that obviously made them.
He like
Sammy
got out.
I still have a huge issue with Sammy, so
He like got out super quick too. Like he jumped off there. He was like, "I gotta go," and it was weird. I thought almost. I don't know. I wonder if he's really
Upchurch,
gonna
yeah.
give him the Hellcat. Yeah.
Yeah. Rachel, so they said it was his first body discovered. Yes. So that's possible. That's a good thought too. I think just probably where he saw her was like, how the heck?
Yeah, but don't forget though, it was blurred out for us, but he probably
True.
wouldn't have seen it in the recording.
Yeah, like
True.
what if she was like, I don't know, just his like the way he was talking and his expressions, like what if she was like bound or like, like more messed up than she should have been from a car wreck or
Right.
I don't know. He was just acting weird, like he saw something more than what was on that video that just was not right.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he was definitely distraught. My heart broke for him. I think he was doing everything he could not to just break out, and yeah, only the first time for Nick for sure. It's just I don't think, I mean, I don't know anything about water either of what a body would look like underwater for 2 weeks. Like if I go back to my biology class, don't you swell a lot? Like I don't know. There's just so much, and why I think the hardest part of that video was seeing her dad say, I can't make this I can't have seeing her like this my last memory.
Yes.
Like that
Yes.
was like, oh, but it sounded AWP basically told him like, I agree, go get out of here. Like they were very supportive of that decision for him to not be there. So, oh, really? S. Hockett saw her shoot in the head. Oh, see, I couldn't
Yeah.
even, I can't even comprehend what that's like. Oh, Ronnie, I forgot about Ronnie's two, Ronnie. Ronnie Gate. Why? So, Mayhem, that's my other, what's the motive for any of this?
I'm gonna say, I mean, just from what I've seen, heard, I think jealousy is a big issue.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly believe it's jealousy.
I mean, from Sammy, I do get a very jealousy type vibe. I do. I do. And I didn't realize this was the first really active case that AWP had worked, or just like they typically do a lot of colder cases. So to have like a 16-year-old girl, I just think it's just, I don't think we could possibly understand what it's like. Check
Oh,
things.
definitely not.
Her dad also questioned how they missed Beatlemaniac. That I did hear. Yep,
Yeah, I
yes,
heard that too.
he did say that. Hey, Yvette. Um, yeah, there's so, yeah. If if you had to ask me, I would say there was a big fight and there was a jealousy thing, and oh, as Hockett for sure. I'm going to say that he definitely thinks, at least he did in that moment, something was odd. The way I mean, he said, wait, what? She wasn't, first of all, the seatbelt thing, yeah, really threw him. So she was probably very, very caught, like always wore a seatbelt, but then the back seat, you could tell he just swung around like, what?
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, if she was conscious, and which I don't believe because of all the windows, your first reaction is going to be to take off your seatbelt.
Oh yeah.
So there's that. But then I don't know. I watched, like, I've shared in Discord a couple times, a creator, he's not as well known, but he says that your first reaction is going to be to go to where, like, there's not water filling up yet, or there's air, which from what AWP says, it's gonna like nosedive and go like first down, so you're gonna have air and stuff in the back, and so you'll be trapped in the back trying to figure out, like, what do I do, how do I get out of here, trying to break back windows or whatever.
You
So
can
it's
drop the name of that, the creator. That's fine.
a harsh reality.
Yeah, but what's the one you showed me that has that I watched? The same car as hers. That
Ooh, Don P.
yeah.
Yeah, he has the same car as hers, and so he had mentioned that right away, and he got on it and started, trying to do all these little tests or whatever to try and figure things out.
That's what I thought, Mayhem, that your body bloats like that. And Lynn, yes, they already did actually remove that part of the video. So I thought that was really cool. Yeah, I think the whole fight thing, well, first of all, the whole organized fights. Like, is that something that I never got into? That like I don't 100%. I'm trying to get on board with the whole "we fight for fun" type thing. It just like I guess isn't that what a fight club is or something? I've never seen the movie,
It
but
might be something that California kids are into, you know what I mean? Being from a whole
yeah.
nother different coast and being on the West Coast.
Oh my God, really, Mayhem? Like, hey, let's get together and just start beating the crap out of each other. Like, it just sounds so painful. But again, if you're drunk, you're not really. I mean, whatever.
Oh, don't forget to link your Discord for me. It's not in your about section.
Oh yeah, I'll put it back on my community page again. But well, it's 10:30. I better go. She was thin, but that would have been a very different. Yeah, as Hockett, that's true. Yeah, that's the thing. People were saying even that thin, AWP and some others were like, even that thin, it would have been super hard for her to fit in that gap. You know.
Yeah, and I don't think we went out that way. I was just stating, all the different scenarios or
Yeah, for sure.
whatever. Before you get off, I
Yeah.
wanted to mention, because you were asking, well, AWP had mentioned that that when they got in on the case, I can't remember what somebody asked a question about something and pertaining to law enforcement or something, and they had responded with, when they came in to the case, that like the sheriff or Ellie, someone in Ellie had stated, I'm not gonna lie, if you go in there and find her, like, that's really gonna bruise my ego.
Mm-hmm.
And he says that on the interview he does with Zav.
Wow.
That was yesterday. I think it was like 3 hours in, but she did snip it and make a separate video that's like 48 minutes long, that is just the interview. And he does say, like, if you go in there and you guys find her, that's really gonna bruise my ego. And
That's
so,
so terrible. Like, I get it, even if you're a joke, but still, like, that would be what I'm mad. I would be mad. Like, that's just crazy. Yeah, Punkette has had a very trying day. I mean, she did get robbed and everything. So, um, gosh,
I just want to say that I'm calling this allegedly right now.
yeah,
That it's a man and a woman that had something to do with her death. I'm not going to say who, because I just don't want to put that out there. But I'm
yeah.
just going to say there's definitely foul play, and a girl or a guy, man or a woman, is definitely involved. That's all I'm going to say. Allegedly.
Well, I mean, hey, I went from 100% accident believing it to at least a solid 60-40. So, I mean, I'm start 50-50 maybe.
and her most recent ex apparently isn't Jagger. It was somebody else, and he
What?
yeah, and he fits the description as well.
Well, I had not heard that.
Yeah, I can, if you want, I can tell you his name in Discord,
Yeah.
but
Wow.
yeah, and they had broken up recently. He also fits the description, and I guess he was out there with Jagger and Kate the day they were looking for her. So,
Whoa.
Yes.
um,
See?
and also, somebody else mentioned it earlier, at the SF hat thing isn't that uncommon apparently in California, because I mean it's San Francisco, and that's, in
Yeah.
California, but there were tons of people in different chats that were like local or like even just from California, and they're like, those hats are everywhere.
Right.
So I mean, it
Yeah,
could,
that part I agree with too, because I'm like, it's California, like they're near San Francisco. It's the
yeah.
baseball team. That's what. Yeah. So Punkette got robbed by somebody that looks like Napoleon Dynamite. I'm not even kidding you all. Sally
Oh
can
my
attest to
God.
this. We're in Discord, and all of a sudden, so this is how it works. This is how our Discord works. I'm out testing the car, sending a video of me driving the car. I tell them, hang tight, I'm going out to check something, and then Punkette comes in like 2 minutes later. What happened, y'all? I was just robbed. And we're like, what? And I'm just like, this group is a mess. Like, one is testing a vehicle, and another one's like she really did get robbed, guys.
I mean, she's
Like,
really into the true crime. She got robbed.
Yeah, what did they run away with, Punk, at like $100 or something?
Yeah, that's what she said.
We were all just like, wait, what? Serious? I thought she was joking because she was super calm about it, because she just came back in and was like, hey, I'm just got robbed. Like, hey, let's go. Like, it was just yeah, like if I'm really busy and I don't catch it till like mid-afternoon, they're like, we were just about to send the
drone.
She was really drunk, not putting a seat. Right, that part I agree with, the seatbelt.
I mean that's true that it will rise, a body will rise, because that's what it does. But I don't think that it had the space because it was upside down, right? So it's not right side up. So it's upside down. It was found upside down. So there's no way that her limbs wouldn't get caught on something in the process.
That's the point I was trying to make too. Like, when people were talking about her floating, I'm like, well, the car's upside down. Like, that's not possible.
Hey, Jax, I will say that if it is an accident too, and what I'm still kind of leaning that way. I do think that, I mean, if she had the seat back that far, there was no good scenario. She was obviously, I just can't believe she even made it that far. And somebody else said that too, because when you watch the person drive the route that she would have had to take to end up there. I mean, I can't believe that she didn't end up in the woods or something before that. If she was as out there as some people are, but yeah, so again, this is just all kind of speculation and talking through things. At the end of the day, we all hope it comes out that it was some
it was a 2013, wasn't it?
Yes, that it was a freak accident. And I mean, as horrible as this sounds, that's the best case scenario, and that's awful that we say that, but
well, and also her mom made it sound like, the text message was fine, there was nothing up with it. I can't even look at my screen straight when I'm drunk. Like, I don't drink anymore because, like, things are bad when I drink. Yeah. Like,
well,
I don't
that
understand.
was several people have said, I can't believe her texts were as coherent.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, most people have to put their phone away when they've been drinking because, well, it's just not a good situation. So, yeah, I do hope we get some answers. I know we're not owed anything, but I know the engine will lock up. Oh, for sure, Jax. It has to be like, yeah. They said that, I mean, the water would just absolutely kill that vehicle for that long.
I just hope eventually we find out a little bit of info on this autopsy, like just a little crumb is like all we need.
Yeah, well, that's just why I do get confused about that. Why not just put it to the end? But I mean, again, if that's their choice, I respect that.
I think with her being a minor and with her drinking, I think they don't want all that information out there, which I completely understand.
Well, since people have already blamed mom and stuff, like, because teens don't lie and
I know, right?
Drink. I mean, look, we do the best we can as parents. There's some days that if mine are alive, it's a miracle. She wasn't water for 2 weeks either. There's a reason AW crews. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty certain. I can't imagine that AWP would be careless with, feeling it might have been foul play or something.
Well, and I wonder why they had made that comment that said, depending on which way the investigation goes, then they already have 2 more videos to release. But it's like, okay, so if it goes one way, they'll release it. And if it doesn't go that way, they're not going to release it. Like, it was so weird. And that, again, was on Zav's channel, too, that he said that.
Well, it just goes to show how professional AWP is with their assessments and their investigations. They do more than one video, and when they assess everything from up until the time they find it, and even afterwards, after they find it. So the fact that they have additional video to put out, right, either which way the investigation goes, I mean, should say a lot already.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but what I'm wondering is, when they say that, do they mean, okay, if law enforcement is corrupt and you guys are going to try and cover this up, then we're releasing what we have, or
good point.
Yes.
or are they saying, like, if law enforcement follows this lead and it's correct, then we'll put the information out? Like,
Right.
that can be interpreted so many ways, and I'm sure there's ways that I haven't even thought of, you know.
It will. The thing is, eventually it will leak. Like, we know, it's just how things work. The cause of death, I believe, will leak one day. I don't know when. I hope it can be leaked in the matter where the family can come forward with it, you know, because, and maybe not, maybe we'll be surprised, but you know the way this world works. Would like to see people sub to 8.
Oh, I've already done that.
Oh, for sure, Jason, for sure. And yeah. It really was up against her, Jason, too. Just the way I mean, gosh.
I mean, I do hope all in all that it was an accident, right? Because that's all, I mean, to me, that's the better situation, right? That it was just an accident. Because if it ends up going foul play, that's so much more room for speculation.
It is my understanding, though, that this isn't the first person that, like, they've lost in that water before. I've got to verify it, but if it was a big, I mean, yeah. I still don't think there was 300 people there, though. I just really don't. There's no way no one saw her.
That's the thing is I think I believe a lot of people know something, but they're not saying.
Yeah. Yep. But all right, y'all. Well, I appreciate you guys, and hopefully it was all just a freak accident, and but we definitely got a lot of cases to start covering too. There's a crazy case with an LSU student that I hadn't even heard about that disappeared, and just a lot of people are. It's just crazy. This world is just so messed up.
Well, thank you for having me up.
Yes,
Tucker.
thanks, guys. Thanks for coming up, Sally.
Yep.
Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Too.